Okay. Today is May 11th, 2020, and we're here with Andy Lin, our New York member of the Houston Asian American Archive. Thank you so much for your time in the COVID-19 to contribute your voice regarding your stories during this very special time of the history. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing well in New York actually. I know a lot of people think New York City is not doing so well, but it really depends on where you are. Some places might feel a lot safer than people think.
I see. And how about the streets? Are you seeing people on the streets? Yeah.
Well, actually, because the weather is warming up, so people start to come out. I always joke a little bit that New York people aren't, it's not like people don't people don't care or afraid of the coronavirus. But in Manhattan, especially, there aren't as many cases. So people here, we don't feel as dangerous as places like Flushing, Queens, Bronx, or Brooklyn. And so we're around Times Square. A few weeks ago, I know we still don't see people on the street. But I realized when the weather warms up, people start to come out to go to Central Park, to walk around. It feels like people didn't come out because there were basically nothing to do. It was restaurants were closed. There's no activities. Like all the concert halls are closed as well. So people just decided to stay home. But I know last weekend, the weather was in the 70s. So I went out to Central Park to walk around, and I see thousands of people. They weren't gathering, but they were just, exercising and just, try to enjoy the sunshine.
Yeah, definitely. It's a strange spring. Like
It is very strange because I see on the news every day that, how many people, how many cases are there in New York and how many people died from COVID-19. And I feel really sad. But at the same time, when I go out, it feels like a different world for some reason.
Yeah, like a surreal reality.
Yeah.
And how has your life changed? Like, would you notice yourself doing more or doing less?
Well, I'm definitely cooking a lot more at home. And well, I used to go out a lot because for my personality, I like to, to do things, to go out, to see people, to hang out, to do some work, even to go to coffee shop to work. But these days nothing's open and everything's canceled. As as an active performer, it becomes very difficult for us because I know all the concerts are, at least for me, all the concerts are canceled throughout the summer. I know Lincoln Center, they closed, they canceled all the concerts until September. And Lincoln Center was supposed to reopen in mid-May around this time. But I believe it also has been postponed to, I don't think they know when this either. And all the Broadway shows are closed till the summer as well. So for active performers, like we basically have no work besides teaching, because we can teach virtually, and right. So the students, they are always urged to continue practicing and taking lessons. But besides those things, I try to find things to do. So I run a music society called the New Asia Chamber Music Society. And we started this music on air project where we invite all our musicians. Like every day we'll have a different artist or musician to perform about 10 to 15 minutes of work that they like. So during the quarantine time, people are staying at home, left nothing to do besides taking care of their kids, or just to go to get online and find things to do. So we try to bring the music to people every evening at 9 p.m. And it has been going on since March 17th. So we did over, I would say, over 50 online streaming concerts already. And we are planning on doing it until whenever the quarantine is over. And this is just a way for us to to have something to look forward to every day, and also for people to have, oh, tonight 9 p.m. we go on Facebook and you see online streaming of people performing. And also for an artistic director for New Asia CMS, it's just for us a way for us to support our musicians, because it's not a lot, but we do pay our musicians to do online streamings. Right. And besides music stuff, and I'm also associated with many different organizations. For example, there's one called Staff United Fund, STUF, and it's a 501c3 nonprofit charity organization. And they got a lot of donations in order for the organization to donate masks to around the United States. So in New York, I got around 4,000 surgical masks where I can bring to medical centers or hospitals to support everyone that needs it. So for me, it's a very meaningful thing to do, especially I know I'm from Taiwan, and I know Taiwan people, we have a lot of sources and we have want to help the world. So we have lots of masks coming from Taiwan or even from China to the United States, where we can support people who need it here. And what else have I been doing? Oh, of course. So for me, food is, I'm such a foodie, and I know grocery shopping has been very difficult for a lot of my friends and people in New York City. Especially people usually, you go out, you go to supermarket to buy food, or you have to take subways to go to Chinatown to get, let's say, dumplings or Chinese groceries that you want. So I decided, since it's difficult for everyone, so I found a farm in New Jersey, as well as some restaurants that remains open during the quarantine time. So we do basically a grocery delivery service for people in New York City. So about every week we gather, I would say, over 100 orders, and so we brought all the food to a certain place, and we deliver from there to all the homes. And we have things like cabbage, onions, we have pork, beef, like all kinds of groceries that you can think of. And then we have real processed food or cooked food, like ramen or dumplings, Chinese sausage. And even now we just got kimchi and lots of buns, like frozen ones, so we can deliver to home so they have enough food to eat throughout the week. So we do that once a week, and we are thinking about continue doing it even after the quarantine time.
Wow, sounds like you've been keeping really busy, and you've been
actually, I think a lot more busier than I thought, which is good because, being quarantined at home, people start to be very creative. Wow. You start doing things that you normally don't, or you start doing things that you wanted to, but you never had a chance to. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of people, they want to spend more time with their kids, but they have to go to work every day. So it's a great time for them to spend time with their family. And for me, it's just a good time for me to sit down and think what I want to do, what else I can do, not just for myself, but also for people around me.
Wow, sounds great. So this has been a time of reflection for you as well.
I think for me and for a lot of people, especially living in New York, like your life is always so busy, so hectic. You have like 10, 15 things to do a day, and you stop thinking what's really affecting your life and what you can actually do to your life or for your life and for people. And I think for many New Yorkers, it's just a great time to, self-reflection is a good word, to stay home, to to rethink and to create. And we don't know what's gonna happen after a few months, because at least I know for musicians, for us performers, we probably won't have any opportunities for another while. So I think it's also important for us to think about how we can deliver music and art to people in a different form. And that's why you go online these days, you see so many online streaming concerts. And I even know my neighbor, who's a trumpet player, he will open the window every single night around like 7 p.m. just to play for like 5 minutes. And people around here will cheer for him.
Wow.
Just many different ways to go through this difficult time.
Do you think any of these new creative ways of communicating will become a new normal?
It's very possible, especially I think people are so used to getting your grocery and food delivered to your home, and even after quarantine time, people probably take this as as an option, right? Like you don't always need to travel from Manhattan to Flushing, which is almost an hour away to get food like you like, to get dumplings, where it can be delivered to you every week. And even music, or I wouldn't say for artists, I think even for normal people who work at companies, at offices, I think a lot of the people realize, oh, working at home is not such a bad idea. So maybe there'll be more and more people working from home where they can spend time with their family. I think we should just always think positively.
Definitely, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And how about for musicians? Because you're a performer.
Mm-hmm.
See this development of live streaming with all these 5G like technology developments. Are we going to keep live streaming instead of having offline performances?
Well, I think if we had a choice, performing on stage in live for people, I think it's always better than live streaming, just because you feel, if you feel the vibe, you feel people sitting there cheering for you, you feel people breathing, people reacting to what you do. Where, through online streaming, you're facing an iPad, an iPhone, a computer, where you don't feel, this machine is reacting to what you do. But we are always craving to perform for people, and that's why these live streamings are going on. Even though a lot of the live streaming, we don't get paid for it, but it's just for us to share music, because we are sitting at home practicing, and it's not just for ourselves, it's also for people to share what our passion is.
Yeah, we definitely miss your playing from February for our concert sponsored by the university. Your virtuoso skills definitely brought so much joy to the Houston community.
Oh, thank you so much. It was a great time for me to be there. Thank you so much.
It feels like a long time ago, although it's only
yeah, wait, when was that? Oh yeah, 2 months ago, right? Yeah. But time actually flies during the quarantine time. But you wake up, you'll think, oh, what to cook today? What else can I do today to make this a fun day to live? Or you want to be productive in many ways.
Yeah. So during this quarantine time, how have your relationships with your loved ones, like your family or your roommates, like how?
Well, this is interesting because quarantine time happened just right after I moved out by myself. So I used to live with my sister and 2 other roommates, but now we are all on our own. But at the same time, my mom is also visiting from Taiwan. So she has been staying with me for the past month or 2. And I guess I haven't spent that much time with my moms ever since I came to study abroad in 1997. So it's a great time for me to get to know my mom more and letting her know what I've been doing, as well as that I'm no longer a kid. Because every time when I visit Taiwan or when she come visit, it's only like a week or two. And we never got to know each other's life so well. So it has been very loving and interesting time actually. And even people, because people do online streaming concerts, so people also find, oh, we can also do online party, you know. So almost every night or every other night, I'll go online I'll ask some friends to, hey, let's chat, hey, let's have a drink through, you know, through Zoom or through Skype, through Facebook. And it has been very fun because then you stop having to travel to places, or you can actually do that anytime you want in the day. So I actually get to hang out, get to talk to many of my friends for a lot of the times.
Yeah, that sounds lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we know you also, in addition to your performance role, you're an advocate
Mm-hmm.
for many of your musician friends.
Mm-hmm.
So how would you like the kind of system to, or how do you foresee the system of the artists and like entertainment or the musician industry change in the future?
That's a very tough question, and I don't think I have a good answer for you. Because even for myself, I'm also thinking maybe performing is not the only thing that I should do in my life. I think these days for artists, we or especially musicians, you not only need to play well, you need to know how to market yourself. So I know these days a lot of people are making recordings. They are doing a lot of projects that they normally don't have time to do because they are busy rehearsing, performing, and traveling. So I think online performing and also recordings, different things on the internet will become a new trend for a lot of the musicians, especially because we know even after quarantine is over, people are probably gonna be hesitated to go into concert halls to watch a concert. And so I'm sure for live concerts, it's gonna be still a while for it to happen. So it's a great time, I think, for us to think about what else we can do to bring the music to everyone. In a way, I think it's probably a positive thing that we start thinking about that, because it has been difficult for us to bring people to concert halls to listen to concerts, because people either don't have time or they don't want to spend the money or it's not their priority to do. But now if everything becomes very easy accessible, then it's probably a good time for us to share and to tell people, oh, music or art is something that you can get every single day, and it becomes a very important thing in your life. And I think that's probably a great time for us right now to start working on that.
Yeah, definitely. Like I see a lot of the roles of the musicians that have
Mm-hmm.
important, like on Facebook or any of the
Mm-hmm.
have so many people like yourself bringing live music and creativity to people, which we
Right,
felt as much as before. Yeah, so thank you for.
of course. And I know a lot of my friends, they are so bored at home after working. They'll be like, what else can they do? So they go online to find things to do, activities. And that's how they encounter a lot of different performances, different artists. You start seeing people sharing, oh, they found this online performance so good, they start sharing. Or they probably normally don't go into concert halls.
Yeah.
So I think it's great.
In a way, the COVID has brought us a little closer together on certain
In a way,
aspects.
yes. Yeah, I think so too.
On the other end, we have
Mhm.
been reading a lot about the xenophobia and the anti-Asian American
Mhm.
trends. Like, have you personally experienced anything like that?
I haven't listed. I haven't actually in my time in New York at all. Um, I think, I mean, racism or anything, it's always there, but it's about how you present yourself on the street when you walk. Um, because you always encounter people who are there's hatred in their life, not only to Asians, not only to Black people or any other race, but there are always people who are negative about their life, about their um, yeah. So I think if you always show the positive side about yourself, it's less likely that you will, encounter those things happen to you, especially in New York. And yeah.
That's great. Yeah, it's definitely about us, not only about
Mhm.
people.
Right, because you don't know how they grew up, you don't know their environment, and the only way you can protect yourself is to not be afraid.
Definitely. So have you experienced any stress or anxiety during the quarantine?
Well, yes. Well, in the beginning, not having to perform, I feel like, oh, it's stress free because, you have nothing to worry about the next day. You wake up, you'll be like, oh, okay, I can practice a little bit or I can do something else since there's no concerts coming up. But after a week, from an active performer to not performing at all, staying at home, it started to build stress because for musicians, artists, creating, performing is a way for us to release our stress, to release the passion that's in ourselves. So when that's building up in my head, in my heart, it I start to crave that I really can go out to do something. Yeah, so it happened for I think last for about a couple of weeks where I feel a little stressed that I cannot perform. I don't know what I can do. And of course, income is also a factor. Right? But it's good that the government has the unemployment insurance and those grants for artists. So it helps.
Yeah,
But it also helps not to go out to eat and hang out. That saves a lot of money as well at the same time.
sure, sure. And on the bigger picture, how would you
Mm-hmm.
say this pandemic has revealed about the social structure? For example, we're seeing the people who are less privileged being more impacted in this pandemic. How
Mm-hmm.
has revealed about our society in general?
Hmm. Okay. That's a very difficult question to answer. Um, well, this pandemic, people start to, or at least I start to think, all lives are equal because if you if you get affected, then it's either you're healthy or not, or anything can happen any day because we are living through a history, and I think everyone will just need to stay strong and go through this together. Because if anyone, any community thinks this is not a big issue, then this COVID-19 will never end. And for the social structure, of course, people with low income, they have less resources. They probably don't have the resource to get masks, to get help, to even food. But I know because of this, a lot of charities, a lot of organizations, they start to gather people, gather donations to help those people who really needs it. So you still see a lot of love, especially on on the internet. People are always, say, let's do this together. Let's donate this much money to this community, to this medical center. So I try to see it as a positive side, that it raised people's what's the word? Good heart. Where people, because we see so many negative things online, so we always try to share the positive thing, what we can do to provide the world a better place to live.
Yeah, definitely. That's great to hear your perspectives and be able to see through you about the things going on in New York and the way people are sharing. And, yeah.
Right, and I think I might be a little luckier just because where I live in Manhattan, but I know a lot of places are a disaster. So I really hope there are more things I can do, or everyone can do, to help those to get better.
Yeah, thank you for, from those people in need, like the masks and the grocery shopping. I'm sure those are tremendous for the society in general.
We're just doing the best we can do. Yeah.
Is there anything else you would like to share with us?
Well, I just think wearing masks is very important, even after the quarantine is over, since this is gonna go around for quite a while, especially with the flu that's coming up in the fall. Like all those things, I think keeping yourself healthy is a great way to keep everything else safe and everyone else healthy too.
Yeah, I hope we get through this and we'll be able to see performers like you and your, fellow musicians be able to play live, and that's a big privilege.
I'm sure people will treasure it more when we can start doing live concerts, not just for artists, musicians, but also for audience to be able to go see a live concert. I'm sure people are all looking forward to it to happen again.
Yeah, most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the end of my questions, and thank you so much. And I hope you and your mother and your sister are doing well in New York. And yeah, parts from the Houston Asian American Archive.
Thank you so much, Anne. Thank you.